What's up, disc golfers? Joe here with Joe's Disc Golf, or should I say, for Joe's Disc Golf. I am back again. I know, false start last time, like a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, something like that, where I had issues trying to get online and just get things going here and just trying to get the podcast up and running again. I am so happy for all of you who are tuning in, listening to this, catching this on YouTube. Don't worry, it will be posted in so many places, and you guys will be able to check that out everywhere, anywhere you get your podcasts or you get your YouTubes. Yes, anywhere you can get your YouTubes, like youtube.com, the YouTube iOS app, or the YouTube Android app. I'm sure there's more out there. Maybe on your smart TV, you can watch my ugly mug talk about disc golf things. There's so much going on right now. For those of you watching, you can see behind me, I've got a bit of a decoration happening there. I got 9 discs hanging up, and there was an Instagram post that I'm going to pretty much ruin now, because I asked you all to weigh in on what you thought all the discs were. Some of them were quite obvious. Some of them, not so much. Starting over my left shoulder, my right shoulder, I know my right and my left. For some reason, both of them make L's. That only makes sense if you're watching the video here. Starting above my right shoulder here, this yellow disc, that is the Raging Inferno from Quest 18. Below that, we've got the Most Wanted by Legacy discs. Below that, we have a Big Z Mantis. Moving back up to the top, it's pretty easy. It's a Pro Boss. That is one of the first discs I bought. That thing is well over 10 years old. It is not pre-flight numbers. I think it's right about the time that flight numbers started coming in. Below that, pretty straightforward there, it is the Grand Royal Arrive first one. Hard to see right behind me, so I'm just going to kind of scooch out of the way. It is a Latitude 64 Next Gen Disc Golf Amateur Tour. Way back in the day when this was just starting out. That is a Gold Line Gladiator. Moving back up over my left shoulder this time, I know my right and my left, I have a Lucid Criminal that is out of production. This one is hard to see right here. This is the Special Edition Evader. Ooh, shiny. And below that is just a really cool design Boatman from Westside Discs. Now, you might be wondering, why did I pick those specific discs? Why those in particular? One, they look cool. Most of these look pretty sweet, like this Most Wanted one behind me here. That one looks really sweet. It also glows in the dark. The Mantis one, also really cool. There are a few other ones that I would have liked to put up there. The holders that I have are actually plate holders that you use to hang up decorative plates. Unfortunately, they don't work so well for holding up putters and mid-ranges. That's why everything up there is a driver of some sort, fairway or distance. Another thing is, a couple of the fairway drivers that I really liked gave a really nasty glare off the lights, my studio lights that I have in here, my really fancy, really inexpensively made, oh, they're so cheap. I just basically got some shop lights for a couple bucks at Home Depot. You know, you got to do what you can. Work for free, work for cheap. That's how this goes with podcasting sometimes. As you can see, even with the Lucid Criminal above my left-hand shoulder, it is getting a bit of a reflection. I apologize for that. And unfortunately, I had to swap it because the reflection off that glimmery Special Edition Evader was even worse. So that's kind of how that goes. Waiting for a new camera to come in because the one I have here is fine, but it'll get better, trust me. And I'll talk more about that once that actually comes in. You might notice that the sound here sounds amazing. Well, and nothing's changed with that. That's about all I've got there. Just trying to get this recorded and just get everything up and running again, trying to get back into the swing of being a podcast host. I really missed it. I love my daughter. I love hanging out with her. I love doing all that. But I also love and I miss doing this. I miss talking about disc golf and doing all that. And so much has happened since she was born. So many crazy things have happened. The DGPM, the Disc Golf Pro Management Company, the agents of disc golf, they're here to take Mr. Anderson in. Not really. They're here to get everybody sponsored by Infinite Discs and Thought Space Athletics. Get into that a little bit later here. There are a ton of things going on, including all of the Disc Golf Pro Tour awards that have just been announced this week. So great time for me to come back, and plenty of things to talk about with that. But first, I'd be remiss if I forgot to mention our sponsor, the Holy Grail of Disc Golf, Log. What rolls downstairs alone or in pairs rolls over your neighbor's dog? What's great for a snack and it fits on your back? It's Log from Climbo. And that's right. I've got that going on. So, good times here. I guess, with all this stuff going on here, I had some stuff coming up on Reddit here recently, which I have claimed the subreddit of Joe's Disc Golf. Go ahead, check that out. There's nothing there. That's where I'm going to try to build my community. We do have a website, joesdiscgolf.com, and that is the happening place to be to get all of your latest disc golf news. I tried to set up a forum there. Essentially, I tried to reinvent the wheel. I wanted to get it to be a place where not only can you get your news, get some tips and tricks, get all the different things out there that would make a great disc golf website, kind of like an ESPN, but just for disc golf type thing. And I tried to get a forum set up and get that all going. And so I spent hours upon hours trying to research this, trying to get everything all set, trying to get my disc golf forum up and running and try to just make it a place where we can all come together and talk about disc golf things, whether it's topics I bring up, topics you bring up, anything that's going on in the disc golf world, have separate spaces for, maybe it's the Joe's Disc Golf community wants to talk about fantasy football, and there's a whole fantasy football section, and whatever. And I realized that all I was doing was trying to reinvent Reddit. And so I decided to say the hell with that, we're just going to have a Reddit area. And we just go to Reddit, go to Joe's Disc Golf. It's up there. There's not much going on with it. I'm still kind of working on that. I spent a lot more time because it was just easier for the way my life has been going recently to get the website up and running. And I think I have it sorted out pretty well right now. I've got the news area, the reviews area, and in the news area, it's broken down by opinions, actual news, which there may or may not be opinions in the news. However, I clearly delineate where this is the news, and then this area is my opinion. So I could tell you that, I don't know, Joe Blow shot 18 down through 9 holes. And below that, I could say, well, that, in my opinion, is kind of bull, because I doubt it. Par's probably a little soft, though I will say over the summer, I did shoot a personal best 13 down through 9 holes. The par was so soft. I think there might have been one par 3, one par 5, and all par 4s. And I could have shot even better, but I just wasn't trying that hard, to be completely honest. The par 4s were incredibly soft. And when I say soft, I mean there was only one hole, maybe 2 holes over 300 feet, mostly wide open. But that's enough about that. Going on with Reddit here, though, did have a nice discussion with some lovely folks over at Reddit. I couldn't tell if they were totally trolling or what, but my mind was just was blown here. The topic was about illegal discs, and I don't remember exactly what was said about that, but basically just asking about illegal discs. A guy had a disc, and that when he first started out, he put some stickers on it to give it some flair, to make it his own kind of thing, which by PDGA rules, it makes it an illegal disc. You can't do that. But he wasn't playing in any tournaments, and you do whatever you want to do in an unsanctioned round. I don't really care. But he talked about then, like, is anybody going to call any of this? The general consensus was if you have stickers on there like that, then yes, probably that, it's going to get called. Then he asked about, other stuff, kind of like, well, what about this or that or the other thing? And it's mostly like, most of the disc violations are going to come in from weight and just discs being overweight. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't carry a scale around with me. And I made a comment saying, like, that's probably what's going to happen, is it would be by weight. But the only way we'd be able to check that is if tournament directors weigh discs. Just, you check in and you gotta, they pull 3 random discs out of your bag and weigh them. And there you go. And if one disc comes up too heavy, well, you can't throw it. Hopefully it wasn't too important. But then I said, well, if it's a PDGA sanctioned event, if it's, Sunday random draw doubles where we all agree that we're going to follow the PDGA rules, you're more likely to get called. I'm more likely to call you for a foot fault or a falling putt or something like that, which apparently is you should not do. Never, ever, 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 ever call anyone for the rules, because I don't know why. It blows my mind why we agree to play by the PDGA rules. Like, you sign up for a tournament, obviously, if it's a sanctioned tournament, you're playing by the PDGA rules. If it's an unsanctioned tournament, you're still probably playing by the PDGA rules. It's just you don't get a rating, and it's probably a little cheaper. That's about it. Like, I don't understand. We're playing random draw doubles. I said anytime I'm playing for money, which are Sunday random draw doubles, it's a $5 buy-in, and the pot can be, I've played at times where the winning card gets $20 to split, and I've played at other times where the winning card gets like $60 or $70 to split. So it's $35, and I only get so much money from budgeting to play Sunday doubles. And if I run out of money, I don't play Sunday doubles anymore. That's it. So aside from that, like, if we agree to play by the rules, we're going to follow the rules. And for some reason, I am the worst human being in the world because I'm going to call your foot fault. Because I'm going to say, you had a falling putt. You had a step putt in the circle, which you can't do. And if it's close, like, I can't tell. Like, if I need a high-speed camera, if I need to watch video replay to see if you actually did foot fault or something else, then no, I'm not calling that. I don't know. Nobody else is going to call that either. If I'm watching and you're in the circle and you line up 2 feet in front of your lie and putt, I'm calling you on that. If you're standing past your lie, I'm calling you on that. If you have an illegal stance, I'm going to call it in a sanctioned round. Now, casual round, I'm out with some buddies. I don't care. If I know I've got a buddy who is getting ready for a tournament, maybe isn't familiar with the rules. If I'm playing with someone who isn't familiar with the rules, but has stated ahead of time, I want to learn the rules, I want to make sure I follow the rules, I'm signing up for a tournament, or I just want to learn how to play the game as described and follow the rules that the PDGA has set out. They might, if they foot fault, go, hey, by the way, that's a foot fault. This is what you did wrong. It's casual round, and not taking a stroke, not doing any of that stuff. I don't care. But, just for future reference, this is this, and this is what you did wrong. This is how you fix it, and that's it. That's just that simple. It really is. But if I'm playing for money, I'm assuming that you know what you're doing. If you agreed to play by the PDGA rules, we're going to play by the rules. And as somebody else pointed out, it's like, why is the guy who follows the rules and calls other people for not following the rules when we all agree on the rules? Why is that person the bad guy? Why is the person who breaks the rules, intentional or not, oh no, that's fine, whatever, stop putting the circle, who cares? We don't care. And when I say, hey, you can't do that, these are the rules, you can't do that, we're inside 33 feet, I'm the bad guy. And like I said, I'm not calling every ticky-tack little thing. If it's close, if I can't tell, if no one else can tell, I'm not going to call it. I'm not going to second it. It does not matter that much. You may have stepped over onto your mini by half an inch. Maybe it's about the time that your disc was released. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I can't tell. I'm not going to instant replay. We don't have instant replay. This is so low. They don't do that for the pros. I think they should have marshals. I think we should have people like that. Someone also brought up the thing of like, time violations, which time violations are really tricky now until January 1st. Once that happens, it's going to be so much easier. Because with the time violations as they're set up right now, you could, you got your 30 seconds to step up, someone calls you on your 30, it's like, there was a flea that farted over there 10 yards away and it really distracted me, so my time restarted. Oh, you're talking to me now? Time restarted. There's a leaf that fell down. Time restarted. I started thinking about McDonald's. Time restarted. I got distracted. In the future, January 1st, just a couple weeks away. Once you have stepped up to your lie and the area in front of you is clear, 30 seconds. That's it. Now, I don't know the way the rules are written. Some of the parks that we play at, they're right along the road. And you have those jerks that, trying to keep this fairly clean here, you have those people that drive by and honk as you're about to throw. I will let you restart your time on that. Like, that's a different circumstance than what the rule is. And I believe that would follow the spirit of the rule. I don't know how you would exactly write that in there so people don't take advantage of it. Otherwise, it's just going to turn into pretty much exactly what it was and what we're trying to get away from, trying to get rid of those loopholes. So bringing it back to where I started here, somehow following the rules is making me the bad guy. When I put up the examples, you go out and you grab a face mask as you tackle someone, intentional or not, flag, penalty, rules violation, face masking. You carry the ball and take 5 steps. Whistle, rules violation, guess what? That's traveling in basketball. You hit someone in the face with a stick, guess what? That's high sticking, 2 minutes in the box. Unless there's blood, then I think it's 5 minutes. Unless they've changed that again. I haven't watched hockey at all this year. But you get where I'm coming from on this one. And I think we can agree here that playing the game by the rules it makes things better. It makes it like I'm not the bad guy here for calling the rules. And that's what frustrates me so much about disc golf is anyone who calls the rules is automatically a bad guy. And I get it can make things a little awkward, especially on the Pro Tour where these guys see each other all the time. And again, this is not to say that you should call every single ticky-tack little thing that may or may not actually be a rules violation. But if, like I said, illegal stands, you're taking too much time, things like that, I'm going to call you. And guess what? If you don't know, most of the PDGA rules have a warning associated with it, so you don't automatically get a penalty stroke. There are certain things where you do get stroked right away. However, most of the time you get a penalty. And that's fine. It happens. And usually, before someone lines up for a putt, it's happened a couple times in tournaments that I've done, where, one, I'll ask if my stance is legal, because maybe I'm standing super awkward and I can't actually tell if I'm squared up to the basket or if my left foot, because generally it's my right foot that's right behind my mini, I can't tell because the way I'm straddled out or anything like that. Like, I'll ask, I go, hey, am I legal? And someone says, yes, no. Okay, move your foot back 6 inches. And I go, okay, cool, thanks. Or I'll see someone line up a putt. I go, hey, you might want to move your foot back just a little bit there because there might be an illegal stance there. And I try to help people. Like, I'm not trying to, the automatic assumption is I'm trying to win by somehow gaming the system when I'm just trying to play by the rules. I don't know. It's just a little frustrating, as you can probably hear by the exasperation in my voice. So, playing by the rules is what I try to do, and the Disc Golf Pro Tour has set out a few rules as we move into the awards season. And Don't you just love that segue? It was the best segue ever, wasn't it? I got on my two wheels and just segued over there. We're going to talk about the Rookie of the Year, an unlikely pairing here of Gannon Burr, who had a fantastic season, and I would almost argue that Gavin Rathbun would probably have been pretty close to Rookie of the Year if he didn't hurt his shoulder right about the time of Worlds, right in that time. But it was Gannon Burr for the MPO side. I don't really have an issue with that. Could you have possibly made some arguments either way for a few other guys that are new on tour? Yeah, I mean, you're always going to have those discussions, and this year I felt like the rookies were incredibly talented. However, on the FPO side, we have a slight bit of controversy because the rookie on the FPO side was none other than the very talented 5-time world champion Juliana Korver. Now, the only reason that this is the way this happened, and the rules are set out pretty easy here to follow. The Disc Golf Pro Tour, this is all on their Instagram post. The DGPT Rookie of the Year award is given to the player with the highest number of points who has less than 3 DGPT starts over previous years. So pretty much since the DGPT started in 2016, that's it. So next year I could go out and I could play one DGPT event. The year after I could play another one. And then after that I could go and tour, and if I'm there, I guess I could technically win. If I go as MPO, I could technically win the DGPT Rookie of the Year. I'm not going to. Not for lack of effort, but for lack of talent. The people out there are just phenomenal. So a lot of people got up in arms about that. The guys over at Grip Locked, at Debate Night, the Nick and Matt show, everybody's pretty upset, but enough of the people had, how do I want to say this, had made the distinction that they're not upset with Juliana. It is by no means her fault, but they're upset with the way the rule was written by the DGPT. And she had retired 6 years or so before the DGPT had even formed. Like, it wasn't even a thing. Now, at the beginning of the season, no one knew that the Disc Golf Pro Tour was going to take over and become the official tour of the PDGA. So they're just they're saying, hey, we're separate. We're the DGPT, and we've got our awards. The PDGA has their awards, and that's just how it goes. And this is how we're going to do it. We're going to say that, Rookie of the Year is someone who's played less than 3 of our events. We don't care what you did with the PDGA. Now, that's where some people are getting mad because, obviously Juliana Korver is a fantastic player. She is probably the greatest women's player of all time, if not in the top 2 right now. Paige is playing really well. I mean, for her era, by far, just clearly the best player out there. Now, I kind of get it. Like, it's a weird situation. You have someone who has, and again, this has nothing to do with age, although age is kind of a factor, because she's won 5 world championships and she's had a long career. I believe she started in 1996, question mark, right around that area. And back then she didn't win Rookie of the Year, so I think that's kind of funny. But she, she was technically the rookie, and people are getting hung up on that and trying to dismiss other avenues where something like this has happened. One of the more famous cases is Ichiro in baseball, where he spent 7 years, 8 years, 6 years, something like that. A significant time playing in Japan, where he won the Golden Glove, he was Rookie of the Year, he was a Silver Slugger, I think he was, best baseball player in Japan by a mile. And then he comes over here with 7 years of pro experience. You can argue, yeah, it's not quite the same level as Japan's league versus the MLB here, but he's still a brand new player in the MLB. Just like Juliana Korver is a brand new player for the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Now they've merged, and I'm going to basically, with the way this is set up, with the way this has happened, I would be shocked, absolutely floored, if the Pro Tour doesn't just absorb in all the National Tour everything. Where, like, hey, guess what? Anyone else? Scott Snookly comes to mind, because Scott Snookly is going to tour next year, and technically by this year's standards, if they were not to change for next year, Scott Snookly could be the Rookie of the Year. He would be eligible to be Rookie of the Year. Now, I think what the Pro Tour is going to do is just go, hey, you know, we're going to lump in all the National Tour, all the majors, everything. So if you've played any of that stuff in the past, if you even if you leave it at 3, if you've had less than 3 National Tour events, DGPT, any combination of those majors, all of that, you don't qualify for Rookie of the Year. And I know there's a case for several of the ladies who, including Macy Valadiaz Walker, same person, she got married over the summer. Like, she could have won it, or a few other ladies that I'm just totally blanking on their names who are new this year. This is my first real year of absolutely just paying so much in-depth attention that some of the names have kind of escaped me right now. So I can understand where everybody's coming from, and fortunately, most of the people who have weighed in on this and have said their piece about it have really said that, like, hey, yeah, we do understand that these are the way the rules are. We don't like the rules. And I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. I would be pretty upset if Disc Golf Pro Tour came out now. A couple days later, they posted this 4 days ago, as of time of recording, and said, and if they had said, like, if they came out today and said, yeah, Juliana, nah, we're gonna change it. It's gonna be Macy Valadiaz, because that's the only person I can think of right now off the top of my head. That's what we're gonna do. That's it. Sorry, you guys are co-Rookie of the Year or some crap like that. I would be more pissed off about that, because you're just changing the rules in the middle of the game. Now, for next year, going ahead and say, hey, 2022, this is the deal. This is what it's going to be. And I'd be perfectly fine with that. It'd be great. It'd be awesome. Again, Gannon Burr, no issues with him at all. And I'm also going over these in the order that they were released by the Disc Golf Pro Tour. So, don't get mad at me if I'm going in an order you don't like, or if I'm doing something in a weird way, because, well, guess what? That's just how the Disc Golf Pro Tour had put it out there. Most Improved Player of the Year. On the MPO side, we've got Kyle Klein, and we've got Missy Gannon on the FPO side. Now, Missy, yeah, no doubt, Most Improved Player. Kyle Klein, this is tough, because there are some other people who have improved a ton too. You could make a case for Drew Gibson. You can make a solid case for Brody Smith because of the jump. Like, they weren't exactly clear on the requirements for Most Improved Player. Like, is it more money that you've won from last year, better overall average place, better overall rating? What was the validation here? Like, Kyle Klein did a fantastic job. There are other people that could have won it too, and that's the great thing about sports, and that's a great thing about what's going on right now, is disc golf is expanding, and there are so many people doing so much better that have grown from last year to this year. I mean, you could make a case even for Matty O. He would be a great candidate for that too. It's hard to tell. It's hard to say with some of this stuff. And again, on the FPO side, I think Missy Gannon she's the one that won it. Like, she most deserved. Looking at where she was in 2020 to 2021, two different people. Katrina Allen played well, but she also played really well last year. So it's hard to say, like, oh, Most Improved. It's like, well, but you're already really high, and you inched up a little bit. Where Missy Gannon, she played well, don't get me wrong, but then she took some big strides. Kyle Klein, same thing. He went from top 20-ish finishes, mostly, to top 10 finishes. Now, guys like Drew Gibson, Brody Smith, who, Brody is now in the top 25-ish, but the year before, it was like 70s. He was not doing good. He's got a lot better. I think next year, if he keeps on that trend, he would be a pretty solid candidate for Rookie of the Year. But who knows? You never know. Lots of things can happen. That's pretty much all I got with that one. Moving on to the FPO Player of the Year, the Elaine King Player of the Year. Again, Missy Gannon. Missy played well. She played really, really well. And you do have to keep in mind that this is only Pro Tour events. No National Tour, no A tiers, nothing. No major, well, some there's a weird spot there. But only Pro Tour events count. Player of the Year should have been Paige Pierce. And I'm sorry, that's just the way it goes. You look at this head-to-head, and Paige beats Missy 10 out of 12 times. 11 out of 12 times if you include the final, or 11 out of 13 if you include the Disc Golf Pro Tour finale. The best player, the Player of the Year, I know Paige is dominated for so long. And I know Paige, we're all getting a little Paige fatigue. That's what we're getting tired. She wins everything, it seems, and she always does well. But what we're running into is Missy played great for the last handful of tournaments at the end of the year. Paige played great for pretty much all the tournaments all year. She had some blow-ups, for sure. Throw pink, she threw it away in the third round. She had the worst rating that she's had in a very, very long time at an 870-ish, 880. Really, really terrible round, third round. But when you take you go from a 6-7 stroke lead to 6-7 strokes under par to 8 over par, 9 over par, something like that in one round. Yikes. However, she still overall was the best FPO player. Now, Katrina Allen, she's right up there too. I'm not trying to take this away. Missy played great. Don't take that. She played really well. She won the Disc Golf Pro Tour. She played phenomenally. She won USWDGC World. She did great. She had the most cash of any woman in a single season, which will probably get broken next year because all the numbers, all the payouts have been going up on the men's and women's side. Whoever won it this year, I think Paul got it. Either way, boom. Next year, that record's probably going to get broken, especially with the Pro Tour taking over everything, and they pump in a lot of cash. But that's not to say that Missy played bad. Missy played really, really well. Paige played better. That's it. That's stats. That is statistical analysis right there. Look up the stats yourself if you don't believe me. That's just how it goes. But congratulations to her. That's phenomenal. She is probably looking at a pretty solid pay bump with her next contract renewal. That's for sure. Who knows? Maybe DD, who says they still have a lot of moves to make, and we're getting close to January. We're getting close to the start of the next season. So who knows what's going to happen there? On the MPO side, the Ken Climbo Player of the Year is Ricky Wysocki. How funny would it be if, and you could make, I got a couple thoughts going through my mind right here. Let me separate them out. You could make an argument for Paul, for Eagle, and for Ricky. It was all right there. Even to a certain extent, maybe even Chris Dickerson. On the men's side, that was a very tight pool, and I think you're going to get people happy and pissed either way. It doesn't matter. Ricky won it, people are mad. Paul wins it, people are mad. That's just the way it's going to go because the top at the men's is so tight. It's just so crazy. My other thought is, how funny would it be, since Ken Climbo, to my knowledge, and I could be wrong, correct me in the comments below, DM me at Joe's Disc Golf, on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook, Joe's Disc Golf, joesdiscgolf.com, joe at joesdiscgolf.com, if you want to email me. How funny would it be if, to my knowledge, Ken Climbo has not played any Dgpt events? If he won Player of the Year, Ken Climbo wins Ken Climbo Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year. Wow. That'd be insane. That would be so funny. That'd be awesome. That'd be so crazy. But absolutely amazing as well. But those are your DGPT awards. And for the most part, other than FPO, the Elaine King Player of the Year, I'm in pretty solid agreement with this. Moving on to some craziness that's going on here with the sponsorships, where just today, as I'm recording, just happening today with sponsorship, we have the I think, was this today? Yeah, this was today. We got an email from EV7, part of their newsletter. Matt Bell is adding EV7. He will be putting with the Penrose. And I had made a tweet about this. And again, follow me on Twitter at Joe's Disc Golf. I made a tweet about this saying that the least shocking move in the world's best putter partners with the putting company, EV7. He'll be putting with the Penrose. Drew Gibson had this done last year. He set a sponsorship for a specific disc, which is great. I think that's pretty cool. If you're throwing a mixed bag and you can get someone to sponsor your putters or sponsor your mid-ranges or a specific mid-range or something like that, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. So that happened today. Eric Oakley announced that he will be joining the Thought Space Athletics team as well. He joins them along with, he joins Matt Bell on Thought Space Athletics. So the TSA is adding a lot of players. Now my question is, the Disc Golf DGPM, their goal, I think, is to represent everyone in the league and to get everyone to be sponsored by Infinite Discs and by Thought Space Athletics. That's just my personal opinion right there. It just seems like every time you hear someone else going with DGPM, they're going to Infinite Discs, and now they're going to TSA, which I knew nothing about Thought Space Athletics. I thought I'd heard about them, and thought I'd heard something about them before. I hadn't really known much, but they have some really, really sweet artwork on their discs. And all of their runs, if you have a first run, whatever, all of the artwork on there is the same. They do a second run, that artwork is retired and they have something new, which I think is a really cool way to track the different runs. And I believe their discs are manufactured now by MVP, I believe, and like Streamline, that kind of stuff. They don't do overmold, as far as I know. I could be wrong, correct me. I don't know much about Thought Space. But they seem like a really really cool company. So they're out there and they're doing their thing with that. Andrew Marweed announced today that he's no longer with Innova, and that on December 20th, he will be announcing who he's with. Who could that be? I had actually made a comment on Instagram. I'm going to see if I can pull that up real quick here. That's not Andrew Marweed. There we go. Let's see if I can find this. I don't want that. Yeah. Okay. And where is my comment? It didn't load more. My comment is buried down here somewhere. But I did say, can't wait to find out whenever he announces this. The dynamic change in latitude is exciting for a future MVP with infinite possibilities. Prodigy. I couldn't resist, okay? I tried to get as many in there as possible. Unfortunately, I didn't get Thought Space in there, but that was, it is what it is, okay? Macy Valadiaz, formerly Macy Walker, She renewed with Dynamic Discs for another year, which is a great move. She played in 6 tournaments this year. Had a lot of top 5 finishes. Did not do well at Ledgestone or Idlewild, but kicked some serious butt at all the rest of them. I think part of the issue with that, she got married over the summer. And for all of you guys out there who are married, and you know what your wife went through, she was touring and planning a wedding and then got married and then went back on tour. I'm like, the first 2 events after she got married, as far as I know, were Ledgestone and Idlewild. So good for her. Like, that was crazy. Good job. Like, that's awesome. Happy to see you're married. Happy to see you're there. And I can't wait to see, because in Dynamic Disc Post, they said that she's going to be touring a lot more, that she's going to hit up pretty much every single one. It sounds like she'll only miss a couple here and there, but that's going to be pretty awesome, because Macy played really well. I could see her being player of the year. She could be in contention with all those top finishes there. With, you know, she played, she toured a little bit, kind of got in a rhythm, then got married, you know, did all that stuff, everything with the wedding, all those crazy things, you know, who gets married in the middle of a season? Well, you know, whatever. Good job. Hey, whatever. You get married when you want to get married, where you want to get married, and all that fun stuff. I digress. Let's bring it back here. And then she comes back, has to get back on the horse, and then she gets out and finishes out the year strong. I want to see her just continue, like, and just grow and just be another name up at the top of the FPO. Like, I really like Dynamic Discs. I think she's a great player. But I also want to see her up at the top. Like, and that has nothing to do, like, I know her name because of Dynamic Discs and because she played really well. She is a phenomenal player. She looks really solid. She looks like she has all the fundamentals down. Now, can she improve her game? Yeah, but who can't? Paul Macbeth goes out and improves his game. Ricky Wysocki goes out and improves his game. Paige Pierce goes out and improves her game. Everybody goes out and improves their game somehow. Maybe you work on your putting. Maybe you work on your driving, your rollers, whatever. You're scrambling. I want to see what she can do when she gets in the swing of things. And hopefully the grind doesn't kill her too much. Because, you know, that can happen. If you're not used to being out on the road and all that stuff, but I'm sure her husband, who was caddying for her at a lot of the events, if not all of the events, I don't remember off the top of my head, she, you know, wasn't on camera for 2 of the events, so you never know. I'd like to think that if she's traveling with him, that it would probably help out just a little bit. But yeah, that's kind of how that's going. Also with the sponsorships going on here, you know, the Drew Gibson thing, which I talked about. Kristen Tatar announces the 4 years, $500,000 with Latitude 64. Phenomenal women's player there. I can't wait to see her come over to the U.S. and tour more in the U.S. I hope her and Silver Lot play a lot more. I hope more European players can come over here and play, because there's some really solid European players over there, especially over on the FBO side, that I would love to see them come over here to play. I mean, look at what Kristen Tatar did. She, like, destroyed Paige. Like, it was insane. And it was awesome. Like, it was so cool to watch, to see more parity on the FPO side. Like, the MPO side's doing great. Would I love to see those MPO players come over on the MPO side? Yeah, I would love to see that. Get even more competition in there. Make disc golf even better. On the FPO side, they could benefit from having a deeper pool. That means the prize pool gets bigger. Competition gets better. More people would want to watch that because it's going to be more compelling. How many times did you turn it on and just go, oh, cool, Paige has got an 8-stroke lead. All right, okay, let's check on the MPO side. Oh, wow, there's only 1 stroke between Ricky and Paul, and then there's 2 more strokes back is, you know, Calvin and Drew Gibson. And that's exciting because you don't know what's going to happen. Now, obviously, Paige did have her one blow up, and that does happen. But for the most part, when she's at the top, she's at the top. And same thing with Katrina Allen. When she was at the top, she was at the top. Like, no one was really catching her. There wasn't as close a competition as you would have liked, especially to make this more exciting. So hopefully they all come over. We get more excitement there, and it'll be so much more fun. Gavin Rathbun, 1 year with Dynamic Discs. He left Discmania. Nicholas Antila, extension with Discmania. Cole Redlin moved from Discraft to Infinite Disc. I think he's also part of the DGPM. So, hey, look at that. Another guy over there. Matty O to Westside. What happened there was crazy. Prodigy says, hey, Matty O, thanks. Good luck with Westside. And everybody's like, well, crap. Westside and DD and Latitude were like, hey, we're going to do something cool and special, but welcome. Sorry. Matt Bell, talked about him already. Greg Barsby, big surprise here. Extension with Innova. I mean, he's going to be there forever. Same thing with Brad Schick and Discraft. Michael Johansson, again, stays with Discraft for another 3 years. Andrew Fish stays with Discraft for another year. Andrew Presnell, another year with Discraft. Andrew Marweed, talked about him, we don't know. Macy Valadiaz, talked about her, 1 more year with Dynamic Discs. They better. I think if she plays really well this year, they're going to lock her down with a solid contract. I think they're going to put her, probably maybe not quite as much as Kristen Tatar. I mean, depending on how she plays this year, could be. They could just also try to throw some money around and go, look, hey, we got some great FPO players. Look at Macy. She's making a ton of cash. Hey, FPO players, hey, Katrina, hey, Jen, you never know. You never know. It could be. But that's kind of how that's going there, all the sponsorship. I think this January is going to be absolutely bonkers because still, Andrew Marweed would be a great get for DD, but they keep talking about a big move, and there's still so many rumors about Ricky and just leaving Innova. And I think if he's going to make some really big money, I'm talking like $1 million money, he's probably going to leave Innova. Where he goes, I don't know. He threw the harp really, really well. And so, DD or Latitude, back to Latitude would be a pretty solid move. But you don't know. I don't know. I'd be curious where he goes. I mean, people are saying, he's not going to move. Well, Paul, nobody thought Paul was going to move until he moved. And now look, $10 million man. Is Ricky going to get $10 million for 10 years? Probably not. Not yet, at least. I could see, 3-4 years for probably $2 or $3 million. That's pretty solid money right there. That's really solid money. Plus, tournament winnings and all the other sponsorships that go with it. I could be wrong. I could be just talking out of my rear end. But as all things in life, it all comes to an end. And I think I have to end this podcast here. I think I've talked enough about everything that's going on. Kind of blew my load here with everything. And I'm hoping to get these things up more consistent. It looks like Friday releases for the podcast and the video for YouTube will be more likely what happens. Again, with a baby, I'll try. I will do my best. I'm going to do even better than last time. We got Christmas coming up. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Festivus for the rest of us. Happy, Merry, whatever you celebrate this time of year. Let me know in the comments below. Just say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, whatever. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. I've missed talking to you guys. I'm sure some of you have missed my voice. I know there are some fans out there, believe it or not. And I'm sure there are just as many who are going, oh God, his voice is back on. Oh, sweet Jesus, why did I subscribe to this? And if you haven't subscribed to this yet, go ahead and subscribe. There's a little red subscribe button right down below if you're on YouTube. You can subscribe or follow, whatever. I think they're changing the naming of it on some of the podcast app because people think subscribe, you have to pay. No, you don't have to pay. This is a free podcast. If you want to send me money, feel free to send me money. That's great. I like money. Money is good. Money keeps the lights on. Literally. It does. You pay for electricity. That's how it goes. But thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. Rate, review this podcast. Share it with your friends. Follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, wherever, at Joe's Disc Golf. Also on Facebook. Also, joesdiscgolf.com, where you can stay up to date on the latest happenings, which I will usually use that as show notes now. So if you want to know what I'm going to talk about, if you have comments about what you want me to talk about, comment on one of those articles. Go ahead and look at those. The more people who look at the articles, there are ads on them. I'm sorry. However, Websites aren't free. I'm sorry. It doesn't cost a lot of money. The ads are unintrusive. Like, I just, there's one on the sidebar and there's one or two in the article, and then down at the bottom of the page where nobody ever scrolls. But, if you'd be so kind as to just look at them, you don't even have to click on them, and it gives me like a penny. So if enough pennies come in, then I get to keep the website going. And I hate that I have to do that, but that's just what I have to do. Sorry, guys, I really am. But again, thank you all. You guys have been so awesome for everything that's going on here. I got big plans coming up for the channel, coming up for the podcast. Looking at doing some live coverage, believe it or not, live coverage of one of the Disc Golf Pro Tour stops that's relatively close to my house. So keep tuned in for that. I don't know for sure. I have to apply and do all that stuff and also get the time off from work. And, make sure my wife doesn't kill me because I'd be leaving her for like 3 or 4 days with a baby. And, I like life. I like life, as I'm sure most of you do. And I know it's getting about that time of the year. The holidays rolling around. If you guys are feeling down, depressed, it's the holidays. I'm here. Send me a DM, send me an email, whatever. We'll talk. We'll chit chat. Things are good. I'm here to talk. I'm here to listen. Here to just be around. I love doing this. I love talking disc golf. We don't have to talk disc golf. We can talk about whatever. But thank you all again. I've said this a couple times, a couple false endings here. This feels like the Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, the movie that just wouldn't end. Thank you all for watching, listening, rate, review, subscribe, all that fun jazz. I've been Joe. You've been awesome. Don't forget to thank Treesus next time you get a great tree kick. And if you get kicked off deeper into the woods, well, you need to repent and reflect because Treesus is trying to teach you something. Can't wait to see you all in the next video. Can't wait to talk to you all on the next podcast.